Have you ever pondered the similarities and differences between Canada and the United States? How do these neighboring nations compare? These questions aren't just idle curiosities, they're the start of a fascinating exploration into the heart of North America. Two countries side by side, yet each with its own unique identity. In this video, we're going to delve into the comparison of Canada and the United States, taking into account four main aspects: geography, culture, economy, and politics. We'll traverse the vast landscapes, dive into the rich tapestry of cultures, examine the robust economies, and scrutinize the dynamic political landscapes of these two powerful nations. From the icy tundra of the Canadian Arctic to the sun-kissed beaches of California, from the multicultural mosaic of Toronto to the melting pot of New York City, we'll explore the breadth and depth of these two countries. So buckle up as we embark on this intriguing journey of discovery. First stop, geography. The physical characteristics of a nation can greatly influence its culture, economy, and politics. Now let's take a look at the geographical features of both Canada and the United States. Canada, our northern neighbor, is the second largest country in the world by land area. It's a vast landscape that stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific and up into the Arctic Circle. The terrain is incredibly diverse, ranging from the rocky cliffs of Newfoundland to the rolling prairies of Saskatchewan to the towering peaks of the Rocky Mountains. On the other hand, we have the United States, the third largest country in the world. It's a patchwork of diverse landscapes, from the rugged mountains of Alaska to the fertile plains of the Midwest to the sunny beaches of California and Florida. Now let's talk about climate. Canada is known for its cold winters, especially in the northern parts where the temperature can drop below -40 degrees Celsius. However, its southern regions have a more temperate climate, with warm summers and cold winters. The United States, on the other hand, has a more varied climate, with tropical areas in Hawaii and Florida, arid regions in the southwest, and cold winters in the northern states. Natural resources are another important aspect of geography. Canada is rich in resources such as timber, minerals, and energy. It's the world's third largest producer of natural gas and has the third largest oil reserves. The United States, meanwhile, is a leading producer of oil, natural gas, and coal. It also has vast agricultural resources, making it one of the world's breadbaskets. In conclusion, while both countries share a continent, their geographical features differ greatly. The vastness of Canada's land and the harshness of its climate have resulted in a population that's concentrated along its southern border, while the United States' diverse landscapes and climates have given rise to a population that's spread out across the country. These differences have shaped the economies, politics, and cultures of both nations. Geography, it seems, has significantly shaped these two nations in unique ways. Next, we delve into the cultural fabric of Canada and the United States. Two nations side by side, yet each woven with its own unique cultural threads. Let us begin our exploration with the vibrant diversity that defines both countries. From the freezing Arctic regions to the sun-soaked beaches, Canada and the United States are home to people from all walks of life. Whether it's the Francophone communities in Quebec or the Spanish-speaking enclaves in California, these nations are a linguistic mosaic. Speaking of languages, both countries are predominantly English-speaking, but they also proudly accommodate a multitude of other languages. In Canada, French holds a special place, especially in Quebec, where it's the primary language. Meanwhile, in the United States, Spanish is widely spoken, reflecting the country's strong Hispanic heritage. Food, glorious food. It's a vital thread in the cultural tapestry of any nation. In Canada, you can't miss out on poutine, a delightful dish of fries, cheese curds, and gravy. And who can forget the iconic Canadian maple syrup? Head south to the United States and you'll find a smorgasbord of dishes. Each region has its own specialty, from the deep dish pizza of Chicago to the southern comfort food of Louisiana. Now, let's talk entertainment. Hollywood, based in the United States, is the epicenter of global film and television, producing blockbusters and series that captivate audiences worldwide. Canada, on the other hand, may not have a Hollywood of its own, but it has produced plenty of actors who've made it big on the silver screen. And let's not forget about Canada's thriving music scene, which has given the world talents like Celine Dion and Justin Bieber. Culturally, both nations embrace diversity, yet each possesses a distinct identity. The United States, with its melting pot ethos, and Canada, with its cultural mosaic approach, both celebrate their multicultural heritage. and yet they each have their own unique flavors, creating a rich and diverse North American cultural landscape. As we journey further, we'll discover more about these fascinating nations. Now let's turn our attention to the economic landscape of Canada and the United States. Delving into the heart of the economic structures of these two North American giants, the United States, with a mixed economy, is the world's largest in terms of GDP. It's a powerhouse of technology, agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Its economic strength is further bolstered by the sheer size of its population and its high productivity. On the other hand, Canada, the 11th largest economy globally, also boasts a mixed economy. It thrives primarily on its rich natural resources, leading it to be a world leader in sectors like mining and oil. The service sector, too, is a significant contributor to Canada's GDP, employing over 3/4 of Canadians. Speaking of employment, the United States tends to have a lower unemployment rate compared to Canada. However, it's worth noting that both countries have managed to keep their unemployment rates relatively low, signifying robust economies capable of creating jobs for their populations. Moving on to major industries in the United States, healthcare has emerged as a leading industry, employing millions and contributing significantly to the GDP. Other major industries include real estate, professional and business services, and finance and insurance. In Canada, the energy sector leads the pack, thanks to its extensive oil sands. Real estate, manufacturing, and the retail sector also play significant roles in Canada's economic structure. In terms of GDP, the United States is undoubtedly ahead, with a GDP that outpaces Canada's by about 10 times. But it's not just about the numbers. The GDP per capita, which gives us a measure of the standard of living, is quite comparable in both countries, indicating similar levels of economic prosperity for the average citizen. Economically, both nations are powerhouses, yet their approaches to wealth distribution and industry focus differ. While the United States leans heavily on its diverse economy, Canada capitalizes on its vast natural resources and service sector. But regardless of their different strategies, both countries continue to demonstrate their economic might on the world stage. Finally, we arrive at politics, the realm of power and policy. A sphere where leaders are chosen, laws are made, and international relations are shaped. In this arena, Canada and the United States, while geographically close, can sometimes seem worlds apart. Let's start with the political systems. The United States operates as a federal republic with power divided between the federal government and individual states. Canada, on the other hand, is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy. This means that while the people elect the parliament, the Queen of England remains the symbolic head of state. Party structures also differ. The United States is primarily a two-party system, with the Democrats and Republicans dominating the political landscape. Canada has a multi-party system with three major parties: the Liberals, Conservatives, and the New Democratic Party. This diversity often leads to coalition governments, adding an extra layer of complexity to Canadian politics. Now, let's talk about international relations. Both countries play significant roles on the world stage, but their approaches can vary. The United States, with its vast military and economic influence, often takes a more assertive role in global affairs. Canada, while also influential, tends to focus more on diplomacy and international cooperation. Both nations have a strong commitment to democratic values, such as freedom, equality, and justice. However, their political cultures are shaped by their unique histories and societal values. For instance, the United States' emphasis on individual liberty and limited government contrasts with Canada's emphasis on social justice and collective welfare. In conclusion, while Canada and the United States share a continent and many cultural similarities, their political systems and international strategies are quite distinct. They are two nations, each with its own unique way of navigating the complex world of politics. Politically, both nations uphold democratic values, yet their systems and policies are distinct. So how do Canada and the United States compare? As we've journeyed through the landscapes of these two nations, we've seen vast geographical diversity, from the rugged Canadian Rockies to the sweeping plains of the American Midwest. Culturally, both countries boast a melting pot of traditions, yet each holds on to its unique customs and values. In the economic arena, we find a powerhouse in the United States with its robust industries and innovative tech sector. Canada, on the other hand, offers a more balanced economy with strong resource-based and service sectors. Politically, the two countries present different models of governance, yet both uphold democratic values at their core. These are but a few of the many similarities and differences that make Canada and the United States two fascinating countries to explore. But remember, comparisons only scratch the surface. The true essence of a nation lies in its people, their stories, and their experiences. In the end, while Canada and the United States share many similarities, their differences make each nation unique in its own right.